We've hit our last 8 player props in a row, and I've got 3 more player props for you today in the NFL and the NBA. This is the free 3. You don't want to miss this. What's up, guys? It's your boy Noble Living back with another DYF Bets video where I'm breaking down my favorite picks and plays of the day as you just try to get to the bag and make some money. On Friday, we had an amazing day on the channel, another 3-0 day, back-to-back days of sweeps. Like I said, 8 straight player prop winners. We cashing on Asar Thompson over 5.5 rebounds, no sweat bet there. We crashing on Chris Paul over 12.5 rebounds and assists, and we cashed on Ben Simmons over 12.5 rebounds and assists. So you love to see it. 3 winners right there to get our weekend started off the right way. We had a killer weekend inside the Telegram group. Player props, NFL, college football. We were cashing in picks all weekend long. We love to see it. You can see our year-to-date record right here, still crushing it for the month of October. We've got a few more days to bump up that win percentage a little bit higher, so hopefully we can do that today. If you can drop a big like on this video, I'd greatly appreciate it, and subscribe to the channel and share with somebody who you know is interested in sports betting, because all we're trying to do is help you make money, just like you're trying to grow your bankroll. We're just trying to do that same thing together. So let's dive into this first best bet in the NFL. So for my first best bet of the day, we're going to that Monday Night Football matchup between the Lions and the Raiders. We've got this Lions team that's looking to bounce back after just absolutely getting pummeled by the Ravens last week. The Raiders are looking to bounce back as well. They didn't have the best performance themselves as they got upset by the Bears last week. So we've got 2 teams coming off of 2 tough losses that are looking to turn this ship around tonight. I'm not a big fan of this game. I don't really have a side that I think is going to win the game. The spread's a little bit too large for me. The Lions should win, obviously. I mean, they're the favorite. They're the much better team. The Raiders are god-awful. So because of that, I'm going to go with Jahmyr Gibbs over 3.5 receptions as my first best bet of the day. Minus 140 odds on BetRivers, so it is a little bit juiced at 3.5 receptions. I do like 4.5, but I would try to get the 3.5 number even if you played for the juice. You know what I like to say, juice only matters if you lose. So for me, I'm willing to pay juice, so this way we can get a guaranteed winner. And I think this is a guaranteed winner today because David Montgomery is out for the Lions. That's their lead running back, so that means that the rookie is going to be forced into this #1 running back role, get a lot more minutes, get a lot more touches, a lot more snaps, and as a result, that means that he's just going to get more opportunities to catch the football. Yes, he's going to get the ability to run between the tackles, but if you've been watching the Lions games this year, then you know that the Lions really like to use Gibbs not only in passing downs, they like to use him as a receiver out of the backfield. So similar to how like the 49ers like to use Christian McCaffrey, that's what the Lions like to do with Jahmyr Gibbs. He's the 3rd leading receiver for the Lions, and they intentionally look to get him the ball. Through 5 games this year, he has 23 receptions on 28 targets, so that's pretty good volume for a running back, which comes out to 4.6 catches per game. So I love to see that. So that means that he's gone over this total on average in every game this year. And when you also look at the Raiders defense, they typically tend to give up yards and receptions to opposing running backs. They played the Bears last week. Dante Foreman, he had 3 receptions for 31 yards in that game. Stevenson for the Patriots, he had 5 receptions for 24 yards in that game. The Bills, James Cook, he had 4 receptions for 36 yards. So you see here, this is something that they will give up receptions to running backs, and these are teams that don't look to get the running back as actively involved and intentionally as the Lions do. The Lions really look to get their running back intentionally involved in the pass game. I love to see that, and the Raiders do have a pretty strong secondary. They're actually ranked in the top 10 in opponent passing yards per game, but they do have a weak run defense ranked in the bottom 10 in rush yards per game. So what that really tells me is that that defensive line is not as strong as they would like it to be. So even though the Lions might not run the ball as much as we might expect them to, they might do a lot of screen passes. They might do a lot of shovel passes. They might do a few little dunk and releases. So these are some of the things that I'm looking for as to why I'm backing the receptions here. Now, if you want to not pay for the heavy juice, then go for the yards. So it's at 25.5. I'd play up to 26.5. I do like that as well. But for me, I'm one of those guys where I just need you to catch the ball. I don't care if you go up or down the field. I don't care if you get stopped 3 times in the backfield. A catch is a catch. I just need Jahmyr Gibbs to get 4 of them. I think he's going to be able to do that today because of the intentionality that the Lions do to get him involved in this offense, and then him getting the majority of the workload with David Montgomery being out, and he's averaging about 4.6 receptions per game, so he's going over this total in several games so far this year. So I love to see that. So give me Jahmyr Gibbs over 3.5 receptions as the first best bet in the Monday Night Football matchup. Now for the second best bet of the day, we're going to head over to the NBA because the NBA player props have been absolutely cashing to begin the season. So hopefully we can keep that momentum going today. And I found a line that just looks way too off for me, and I'm going to hammer it here, and I'm going to go with Tyrese Halliburton over 13.5 rebounds and assists, minus 115 odds on Bet365. This is another one where you might find a little bit juiced on your book. Shop around the different books, but I really love this one. Even up to like minus 140, minus 145 is probably the most that I'd pay for it, but I really do like this pick because the rebound and assist lines, those have been good to us. I love those combo squares, but also when you look at it, a player like Tyrese Halliburton, like this number is way too low. He can get this off of just assists alone when you really think about it. And even though we don't have a ton of data to go off of because the season's fresh and new, I think this line is just too low. Through 2 games so far this year, Halliburton is averaging 12 assists and 5.5 rebounds. So that's good for 17.5 rebounds and assists line. And truthfully, we're getting it at 13.5. So we do get some room of error there and some margin. But when you also look at his last few games, I mean, he's only played 2 games, but look at his stats. He had 13 assists and 8 rebounds in his last game against Cleveland. And then the first game of the year, he had 11 assists and 3 rebounds against Wizards, and that was a blowout. So he didn't even play that many minutes. So now he's going to face a Bulls team, which is probably the best defensive team that the Pacers have played so far this year. But I think this is a game and an opportunity for Halliburton to not only show his all-star status going against guys like LaVine and DeRozan, but he also has the opportunity to play significant minutes in this game and completely fly over this total. Now, the Bulls, if you look at some of their recent games, they haven't been keeping guys underneath this total. Cade Cunningham for the Pistons, who they played in the last game, he had 10 assists and 4 rebounds, so went over this total. Asar Thompson, also in that game, the rookie, we bet on him to go over his rebounds. We bet over 5.5. He had 12 rebounds, and he had 5 assists to go with that, so that would have gone over this total as well. And SGA had 10 assists and 5 rebounds in the first game of the year against this Bulls team. So we've seen other All-Stars, we've seen other players go over this total against this Bulls team. So for me, I don't know why this number is not at 15.5, 16.5. I think this is a number where Halliburton gets here on assist alone. I would even ladder up his assists. I think it might be at 9.5 right now, but I think we get a lot of value on the rebounds just because of how long he is against the matchups that he might have on him. He might have Kobe White rotated on him. He might have Caruso rotated on him. So I think that's just one of those things that Halliburton is going to be able to go attack the boards, get us about 5 or 6 rebounds, and then we get 5 or 6 assists, and we're right there close to this total, or not even able to get over it. But double-digit assists is one of those things that you can expect from Halliburton. Even if he gets 9, we only need 5 rebounds. So for us to cash in on this is just way too low. So give me Tyrese Halliburton over 13.5 rebounds and assists as my second best bet of the day. For my third and final best bet of the day, I'm going with another rebound player prop here because those rebound props have been cashing to start the year. If it ain't broke, ain't fix it. And I'm going to go with Clint Capella over 10.5 rebounds, minus 105 odds on DraftKings. I really love this. The analysis is real simple. He's gone over this total in all 3 games so far this year. He grabbed 13 boards one time and he grabbed 12 rebounds the other 2 times, so you love to see that. He's got a big man versus big man matchup because the Timberwolves are now coming to Atlanta to play the Hawks. And the Timberwolves, you guys know, they have those 2 centers there in Karl-Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert. Plus, they have Nazir Reed coming off the bench as well, so they do have a lot of size. So that means Capella is going to be around the rim. He's going to have to box out guys. He's going to have to crash the boards. There's just going to be a lot of rebound opportunities for Capella because he can't just take the night off because you know Gobert is going to eat on the boards. You know Karl-Anthony Towns is going to get a few rebounds himself. And then I love the fact that the Hawks are also top 10 in possessions per game to start the year. So that means they're pushing the pace a lot. That means they're trying to play faster, and they're at home, which also typically means that it's a faster environment when you're playing in a familiar environment like you're playing at your home court. And then coming off of a big win against the Bucks last night, Clint Capella still had 12 rebounds in that game in just 23 minutes. So if you're worried about the back-to-back angle, some people are worried about that, like, hey, how is he going to play on the second night to the back-to-back? He only played 23 minutes in that matchup because it was kind of a blowout the entire time through. I mean, the Hawks were up by 20 points at halftime, so they didn't take their foot off the gas, but they also didn't have to push themselves too hard in the third and fourth quarter. So I think they're going to be really healthy and rested for this game. Now we got the Twin Towers coming to State Farm Arena. I think this is just a game where Clint Capella has to play hard. He has to show up because we know what Karl-Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert can on those boards. And when you also look at some of the numbers of what Clint Capella has done against Gobert in the past, he's faced him 6 times since he's joined the Hawks, and he's gone over this total of 10.5 rebounds 3 of the 6 times. So about 50% hit rate there. there. And then he's also faced the Wolves 5 times since he's been on the Hawks, and he's gone over this total 3 of 5 times. So again, a little bit over 50% hit rate. Love to see that. All the numbers are telling me so far in this matchup to take Clint Capella over 10.5 rebounds. He hasn't failed us so far this year. There's no reason to think he's going to fail us again today. Got pretty good odds at -1.5, so almost able to double your money. I like that. That's good enough for me. So let's go with Clint Capella over 10.5 rebounds as our third and final best bet of the day. Well, that's it for me today, my friends. 3 bets, 3 winners, 3 player props that are coming your way. We're going to cash in on Jahmyr Gibbs over 3.5 receptions on the Monday Night Football matchup. We've got Tyrese Halliburton over 13.5 rebounds and assists to get us started in the NBA. And then we're going to close it off with Clint Capella over 10.5 rebounds for the Atlanta Hawks as our third and final best bet. If you have any questions, drop it inside the Telegram group. Can't wait to help you out. Can't wait to tell some of your picks. Drop a comment below with what you're taking so this way I can make some money with you. We've been on fire. Hopefully we can keep another sweep and another day going and finish the month of October strong. As always, dictate your fate, get to that bread, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Later, gang.